Good day. My name is Adebi Temiloluwa Success. I'm the group lead for Group 12 Business Communication FBA 234 group project from the accounting department. We'll be covering the topic employment communication. I'll be talking on the curriculum vitae and resume. A CV, which is called a curriculum vitae and resume, a document that summarizes a user's qualifications, experience, and skills as a potential employee. Now, a CV is different from a resume. Sometimes people actually have a misconception and think they are the same thing, but they are actually different. A CV shows a whole summary of the academic experience of an individual. A CV is more comprehensive to a resume and is mostly asked in companies to have a whole summary of a person's professional background, while a resume is straight to the point and is mostly directed for the position applied for. Typical parts of a resume and a CV. The first part is most important, which is the contact information. The contact information includes the phone number, email, and other social accounts that the employee can be contacted for further interviews or informations. Secondly, we have the professional summary and objective statement. This gives an overview of a person's professional summary from educational background or how a person perceives his or herself in a professional background. 3, we have the education. This is the educational background of a person, which could include the degree, master's degree, or whatever qualifications a person has in the educational background for the profession he or she is applying for. We have the work experience. The work experience is it's like a confident statement that actually helps an employer to know that this person has an experience in this profession. 3, education. This talks about the educational background of a person, the qualifications he or she has in that profession. This could be BSc, certificates, other degrees, master's degrees, PhD that are related to that profession he or she is applying for. We also have the work experience. This shows an overview of the past experiences a person has in that profession. Gives an overview of similar jobs he or she might have done that is related to that profession, and it gives the employer a confidence that this person is actually right for the job. Then we have the skills. This could be hard skills or soft skills. It could be technical skills in that area of profession, or soft skills like leadership skills, communication skills, team management skills. We also have the certification and licenses. Certification and licenses are extra educational background the person might have. Certifications, for instance, for an accountant, for instance, getting an ICANN certificate. These are licenses that could be added to a CV. Then we have the honors and awards. Honors and awards are awards a person must have gotten in the course of the profession. Special awards a person must have gotten. This is kind of like a boost for an employee when actually applying for a job. Then we also have the hobbies. This helps the employer to know the employee better, know the extracurricular activities he or she might be interested in. Thank you.
Good day, I am Akinowo Sarah. I want to discuss the process of writing a CV or resume. 1. Analyzing the job description. Carefully analyze the job description and identify the key qualifications and skills required for the position. 2. Brainstorming. Make a list of all your qualifications, skills, and experiences relevant to the job. 3. Organizing information. Organize your information into clear and concise sections with the most relevant information listed first. 4. Writing and editing. Use action verbs to describe your experiences and achievements. 5. Tailoring. Tailor your resume or CV to the specific job you are applying for, emphasizing the most relevant information and skills.
Good afternoon. My name is Ibrahim Onodokun, and I'll be running us through the steps for submitting and also following up on applications. Then, to submit an application, we have 3 major techniques. We have the email techniques, the mail technique, and the online technique. The email technique is one of the most common ways of doing it, and this is basically sending an email of your application and your CV and your resume to your recruiter. The mail technique is more of a physical method, whereby you send the physical mail of your application letter, your CV, and your resume to your recruiter. Although this is not frequently used in this time and age, but it's still used in some application type. While for the online technique, we use through the company's website or the job application website to submit the applicant's CV, resume also. Then now, following up on your interview process or your application process, there are 3 major ways also, which is number 1, the email method, the phone method, and also the LinkedIn method. The email method talks about sending the email to your recruiter, to the recruiter's official email or to the company's official email, in order to check up and follow up on the processes or the steps your application has gone through. Now for the phone technique, talks about having an official contact with the recruiter in order to make a phone call through to the recruiter to find out how far your application has gone. The last one is the LinkedIn. If you are opportune to have a LinkedIn connection with the recruiter, you can check up on your application through the LinkedIn, especially if you got your employment or the opportunity through the LinkedIn site of the company. General steps in submitting the application and following up on your applications. The first is to follow instructions carefully. The second is to be polite and also be professional. The third is to be patient in following up your application especially. While the last is to keep records of all the steps in order to have a strong and compact application process. Thank you very much.
Yeah, good day everyone. My name is Awi Abibullah Kendi and I'm here to talk about the steps of writing a cover letter. So first of all, you have to research the job description and the company to understand the culture of the job. So number 2, you have to tailor the letter to a specific job company using the job description and as a tone guide. Number 3, you have to use a professional tone and language throughout your letter. And 4, you use a specific example to demonstrate your relevant experiences for the letter. Then number 5, you have to keep your letter concise and straight to the point. It shouldn't be longer than 1 page. Then 6, you have to edit your letter for grammar and spelling errors, and suggest you give it to someone to go through it as well.
Good day, my name is Wahid Abisho. So I'll be explaining the techniques for submitting and follow up on application. So I'll be starting with the submission techniques. We have several submission techniques. One of them is online application. Many companies accept application through their website or job board. 2 is email application. Some companies accept application submitted by email, often with specific instruction for formatting and subject line. 3, we have mail application. Some companies still accept application submitted by mail, but this is less common nowadays. So those are the submission techniques we have. Up next is follow-up techniques. We have email. Send the follow-up email to the hiring manager to inquire about the status of your application. Then be polite and professional in your message, and also inquire about your interest in the application. Up next is we have phone. If you have the contact of the hiring manager, you have to be respectful of their time and schedule, and also be specific with have some specific questions and information to share. The last one is we have LinkedIn. If you are connected with someone in the company who is on LinkedIn, message the person and also be professional with the message. Be cautious and professional with your message.
My name is Christopher Favor and I'm going to be talking about the tips for submitting a follow-up on your application. First of all, you need to follow instructions. Follow the instructions given to you by the organization and by your interviewers in submitting your application. Also, you need to submit your application in the right format. Another tip is to be patient with the organization. You need to give the organization enough time to process your application and make their decision. Also, you need to be polite and professional in your approach. Watch your tone when talking to the interviewer and avoid being pushy. Also, and lastly, you need to keep a record. Keep a record of all the applications made and to all the organizations that you've made them to.
Good day, my name is Egbeyo Priscilla and I'll be discussing basic tips for success before and during an interview. The following are the tips to be taken into consideration before an interview. First, research the company. Learn about the company's history, mission, values and culture. Look for recent news articles or press releases that highlight the company's initiatives or current challenges. Next to do is to review the job description. Make sure that you understand the job requirements and that you can speak to your qualification. Next is to prepare responses to common interview questions. Be ready to answer questions about your strengths, weaknesses, and past experiences. Next is to dress professionally. Choose an attire that is appropriate for the job and company culture. Bring extra copies of your resume and other important documents, and also a list of references in order to be prepared to provide additional information when needed or required. What of tips during an interview? First is to make a good first impression. Greet the interviewer with a warm smile. Next is to listen carefully. When asked questions, don't rush into providing answers. Pay attention to the questions being asked and take time to formulate thoughtful answers to such questions. Provide specific examples. When answering questions, providing specific examples from your past experience will help to illustrate your skills and qualifications. Ask questions. Prepare a few questions beforehand to ask the interviewer to show that you are intentional about the company, or to show your interest in the company rather. Last is to express gratitude. Thank the interviewer for his time and consideration before leaving.
My name is Kolawole Adeborua, and I'll be going through the points you need after an interview. What do you need to do after an interview? Number one, send a thank you note. Send a thank you note or an email to the company in which you just finished doing an interview with, reincarnating the position in which you are going for. Number two, you should reflect on your experience. Take some time to sit down and see how well you did during the interview or things you need to improve on. Number three, follow up if necessary. You need to follow up if you haven't heard from the company in which you just finished having an interview with and restating your position in which you are looking forward to work to. Number four, keep searching. Don't stop searching after a particular interview or two. Keep your search until you receive the offer you are expecting. Number five, stay positive. You have to stay positive until you receive the offer in which you are looking for. And each interview is an opportunity to learn and improve your skill.
Good day, my name is Olusegun Taiwo Daniel. I'll be presenting on the summary of employment communication. Employment communication involves various aspects of job seeking, career development, including writing CV, resume, applying for job interviews. Employment communication covers various aspects, which are defining and proper usage of key terms like resume, CV, cover letter. Secondly, describing the part and process of writing a CV, including the tips of organizing, analyzing, and highlighting your experience. Then thirdly, outlining the structure and style of writing an effective cover letter. Then fourthly, explaining the techniques for submitting and following up on job applications, include online submission, email applications. Then lastly, providing basic tips for success before, after, and during interviews. By mastering this important aspect of employment communication, job seekers can improve their chances of finding the right job and advancing their career. Thank you.